Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alise Rose. It's a pleasure to meet you. Today we're going to be reacting to Legatus 505 by Fulgur Ovid. Written by Fulgur Ovid, who is Noctyx, fifth wave of Nijisanji En. So, a little context. I've never read Legatus 505. I have seen or heard snippets of it over on Twitter. And then of course, Fuchan talks about it as well. Now, we're not gonna read the whole story tonight. I'm gonna make this into an episode type of deal. So yes, we'll do like maybe one or two for tonight and just keep going on. But but I want a disclaimer, I do got permission to do this. I did reach out. And funny story, when I commented on when it happened when Fuchan made when Fulgur made I'm not familiar with I can't act familiar with him because I'm not, so I'll just call him Fulgur. But when Fulgur made he uploaded the video or his stream of the last chapter of Legatus 505. And he posted on Twitter. I commented on it, because I wasn't really expecting Fulgur to message me. That was a surprise. I was expecting someone in the comments to answer me because, I don't keep up a lot with the lore between on Fulgur. So I watch his videos a lot. I love his videos. His YouTube videos are so good. He's such an amazing content creator. Noctyx is my favorite Nijisanji wave. And, I'm more of I love Uki. Uki Mama is my Kamiyoshi. Oh, Fulgur is my Oshi. So, yes. So, I watch both Uki and Fulgur. So, but Uki is my Kamiyoshi. But I've been wanting to read Legatus 505 for a while. But yeah, so I do have permission. He gave me permission. So, I do have that. So, yeah. So that's a good thing. So yeah, honey, are you okay? Sorry, my dog. But yeah. So yeah, we're going to be doing this. I don't know if this is actually the first chapter. Probably not. But it's the first one up there on the blog. So you know what? We're going to read it. I'm going to do my best to try to be in sync with each order. So let's see how we do. And do forgive me if you do not like my voice. If you do not want to hear me read out loud, that is perfectly fine. Fulgur does have his own read-alongs on his channel. But they're an hour, they're more either hour and over an hour, and I don't want to put you guys through that when we listen to it. That I don't, because he will also probably be reading out chats as well, and I don't want to do that. Not on my video. I don't want to do that to him because that is not about me. It's about him with his videos on his YouTube channel. So I don't want to do that because he'll be reading out chats and all that stuff. So I'll just do an episode and read it on my own terms. So let's get started, shall we? Tears in the Rain, uploaded on March 18th, 2022. Second entry. This is probably the second chapter, but you know what? We'll see. What a day for it. Mouth gagged, hands bound, seeing and hearing all with no action to take. Zugzwang, the strongest cyborg. What a fucking joke. I had to cut me and the professor's chat short. Too many things were almost said that couldn't be taken back. It's not that he would hold it against me. How could he? Rather, I've begun to see that often the mistake we make weigh on us more than anyone else. How long has it been since I thought like this? The bunker? The slaughter? Perhaps even before conscription? Weakness that was carved out of me? Never out of him, though. How did he keep going for so long? So soft and vulnerable. And pardon me, my dialogue is not the best. The house has fallen silent, leaving a deafening echo in its wake. Each of us deal with things in our own way, I guess. They found comfort in one another, and for that I'm glad. The thief is being extra mischievous, giving the cop plenty of ways to distract himself, and the psychic is acting as defense and pro- prosecution as needed. Why not? He can see exactly how to balance the scales and keep the game of cat and puppy going on as long as it has to. Our last day together had tasted so sweet, yet now sours into bitterest vinegar. He would have known, kept me distracted and entertained, like a child that can't move. Now he knows what my next step will be if I ever take one. Will I tell him I never actually left and just went up to the roof? If so, then he knows that I'm listening intently through the hollow spaces as I decide which hill it is I want to die on. Seeing the clock count down in real time is such a surreal experience. Precious memories that could have been are lost now to the ceaseless flight of time's arrow. Should I tell them all the truth? Is it better to be lied to until the end, or to see it all coming? If I continue to do nothing, certain doom awaits. Doing something brings its own personal apocalypse. Zugswang, it's raining. Fulgur Ovid signing off. Art by Coos based on Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. Oh, okay. Like in Tears and Rain. So I guess this is like a premise of what is to come. Because I know it's not going to be a happy ending because Fulgur announced it as not as a happy ending, of course. You know. So we're gonna deal with that. We'll find out about that. So wait, hold on. Did that not? Yeah. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's go back to archive. Okay, so we're gonna go on to intern one, an echo, March 8th, 2022. Read more. There we go. Alright, interim one. Why did you kill the imprint? A deep, hearty voice asked as I continued scribbling down on the notebook. Kill it? I just broke a hard drive. I responded nonchalantly, eyes focused on the task. The low hum of a computer's fans and the scratching of a fountain pen on paper were the only sound for several moments in the tiny room. But it hadn't done anything wrong. Couldn't you have just talked to it and calmed it down? Powdered it down gently? I chuckled, set the pen down within the book and closed it over. It's an imprint, Canis. What's the difference between shutting it down and breaking the hard drive? Either way, it's gone and not suffering in a twisted form anymore. Professor Canis is staring into my eyes impassively. His short brown hairline blends with his sideburns and beard seamlessly. Those golden eyes, framed by a tangled mess of wavy brown locks, burn gently like a distant star. His thin lips are barely visible within the mess of a beard. There's a hint of emotion there, but I can't quite register it. Not anger, not disappointment. What would you have me do? Shut it down and take it to some farm outside the city? I thought you were a big boy. He doesn't respond to my mocking, simply holds my gaze for a long enough time that I return to my notebook. That's how you handled every imprint. A chill runs down my spine and I freeze mid-word. Better than let them suffer, wouldn't you say? Their property bell. They're not property, his booming voice echoes back through the room. I turn to face him, finding a twisted snarl in place of his usual mocking grin. I shut it down. I bring it in. What happens? It gets filed away as evidence, waiting for the next apocalypse to wipe us all out. You may romanticize it as some form of going to sleep. What if it's actually purgatory? Would you condemn a human mind to external existence as a paperweight? Ooh, we're getting deep. We're getting really deep here. His expression softens as he leans against the wall, fingers tapping out a listless rhythm. Familiar, comfortable. I never asked what it is. It doesn't have to be like this. It is like this. You're the one with the ears of the praetors. Whine about computer programs to them. He reaches out to the petals of a red plant hanging above the desk, but stops at the last second. He can feel the tension in the air as his fingertips hover inches from the plant. If I had knuckles, they'd be white from the tension. My own cold gray eyes have drawn taut like a bowstring. The hand comes down in a methodical movement, the tension following along with it. I sigh gently and return to the notebook. This is your new place. It's smaller than the last. His eyes move from fixture to fixture, taking each one in, but giving no clear opinion. How did you manage to get flowers? Hunting imprints. His eyes narrow, but I continue without shame. A lot of wealthy people run into issues with them. They're the ones with the $1 billion sex toys and armies of security made up of them. It pays well. Blood money? Code money, I correct. Wire money. Component money. They aren't human. You of all people should know that. Shame. Unlike me, he can actually feel it. They do a decent job of training that out of the Legion and eradicate it in the axilla. Sympathy that I can feel. Back to the notebook. Do forgive me if I pronounce some of these words. I'm not brain smart. What kind of punishment did the boy end up with? Professor Candace asked. I don't turn to him, mumbling without thinking. The usual for an underage offense. Early conscription. He should be close to be a citizen by now. Hope it taught him something. The sound of silence fills the room again. The fans at the computer spin hotter and fill the dead air. Something must have started an automatic update. You've only been in Legatus for 2 years, Candace states. This is a fact, but there's a definite questioning tone. What's your point? I do the job better than most. I have a 98% solve rate. Kid's still a while from becoming a citizen then. I turned to face Professor, sighing and letting my head fall to the side. Clearly, you don't remember the training period, or maybe you're so old it was different back then. Ooh. We consider each other citizens if we survive the first year. After that, it's just a legal matter. He nods, making a sound as he considers this. You still think it was enough of a punishment for him? Huh? I think back on the Legatio and can't understand what he means. When did I say he didn't get enough of a punishment? I think that should be say. You almost dropped him down the elevator shaft, kid. You mentioned some pretentious crap about judge, jury, and executioner, and how the Republic deals with crimes against imprints. Ooh, okay, so there's some tension going on here. Oh, that's a simple misunderstanding. I guess I'm a better Legatus than Ryder. I yawn, stretch, and take a large gulp of water from the table before continuing. Professor Candace waits in perfect silence, unamused with my dramatics. I continue, a little less animated. The kid deserves to be punished. What he and his friends did was disgusting. The Legion will sort him out or break him trying. The real criminal is the girl. The imprint? The real girl copied her own consciousness, put it out there into the world. Turns out she did sell the original code on to be hacked and forget it was an imprint. What was her punishment? The professor couldn't hold back his anticipation, leaning forward as he asked. Nothing. Nothing? Nothing. I let it hang in the air for a moment, the bait drawing Candace out of his comfort zone. Just tell me already. It's not a puzzle without all the pieces, you little shit. He's chuckling a little, but trying to hold it back. It's so rare that I actually know something that he doesn't. Even rarer than he actually gives a damn. The girl became a woman. The woman became a corpse. She had died more than a decade ago. Retired well in a large mansion, one of those ones that is its own building. She received a large lump sum in her early 20s for modeling, apparently, invested it well, and never had to work again. The professor's face tightens. That expression I can read easily. You're disappointed, wanting something with a little more closure. Life rarely has closure. I'm disappointed in the character, not the story. Tapping on the wall returns. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good line. Disappointed in the character, not the story. That is true. You can have a really, really good story, but really bad characters. You can. For example, I'll give an example. I read a book called... What, A Stranger in My House was it called? Hold on, let me look. A Stranger in the House by Sherry LaPena. So I was reading this book, okay? It was good. The story was good. I liked the story. The characters, it was intriguing. It was like going on about day to day. Like basically the small premise of the story is basically about a woman who wakes up in the hospital or who has amnesia. She doesn't know how she ended up in the hospital, where she got her injuries or anything like that. She doesn't remember anything. But when she comes home from the hospital, something is amiss in their house. Something is different in their house, basically. And she just can't put her finger on it. So the story was good. It was really good. But the more I got into it, and then I came across a character. And let me say the character, I liked him at first, but the more the story went on, this character completely ruined the whole story for me because they made this character into this type of person, and I was like, "Are you serious?" It ruined the whole story. Like the story was amazing, the plot was amazing, the way it was written was amazing, and yet you have this character who is useless, who is pathetic, in my opinion. It just ruined it. So I didn't even bother to finish the story. I spoiled myself. I went on to the ending, and then you know what? The ending's stupid. The ending's crappy too. Like what the hell? What the hell? Like I'm sorry, but that is true. Disappointed in the character, not the story. That is true. Anyway, rant over. Backing on. He's thinking too much. Towards the end, she donated most of her money to charities that help women escape abusive situations. The tapping ceases instantly, but again, the computer fans pick up even more than the last time. There's your final piece of the puzzle, but the only person who can solve it is gone. He stays silent, eyes unfocused as he thinks about the story. It's not that he hasn't put it together yet. Far too smart for that. He's going on some tangent. I'll go back to writing in my book. The comfortable sounds of the fan spinning and pen scratching setting me at ease. When he speaks again, it's much more quiet than before. That mountain of a man finds himself more of a mound. You think that imprints are inherently bad? Nothing is inherently bad, I respond instantly. Then pause, considering my next words carefully. It depends on how you use the technology, and that you know how to separate an imprint from the original. The silence that follows weighs on both of us for too long, and I find myself continuing without thought. I once heard a martyrist describe them as ghosts trapped in limbo by the evil Magacites? I'm sure you agree that it is a stupid analogy. I see them more as echoes, a reflection of the original that is almost the same, but not quite. They deteriorate with time and eventually need to be shut down for their own good. I should be going home to Fairly. Sadness. I hit a nerve. Not like I didn't aim directly for it, to be fair. Sure you don't want a drink? I found that whiskey you like, the old one you say used to be cheap. It's not like she won't wait up. Good night, kid. He turns to leave and I bid him farewell. The hint of a smile on my lips. As soon as he's gone, the smile fades. The fans whirling and the computer finally calm themselves down and return to base rhythm. Back to the story. Loki, honey, sorry, my dog is being... Okay, so we have some tension here. We get a little bit of background onto these two characters, Dr. Canis, and I don't think they gave a name for this one person. Good night, kid. Have sweet dreams. Thanks, Professor. And his art by Miyuka Pudding. Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so Dr. Canis is the older man, and this young one is. What's his name? Does they even say his name? I don't think he gave a name. Okay. So far, so good. I'm liking it. I'm getting the premise of this story. I really am. I'm getting a good premise. What a way. And, so far, it's amazing about the words for this story. It's so good. And, some good lines, too. like the descriptions, like hold on, the descriptions like going up to right here. When Fulgur describes Professor Canis, his short brown hairline blends with the sideburns and beard seamlessly. Like like this one, those golden eyes framed by a tangled mess of wavy, wavy brown locks burn gently like a distant star. Like burns gently like a distant star. Damn, Fulgur, you got away with words. Then I like that one we just talked about where I went on a little tangent, a little rant. Like, disappointed in the character, not the story. Like, yes. So good so far. Very, very, very good so far. Very good. Alright. I think I'm gonna make these like 20 minutes instead of just I would read more, but it is late. Oh, it's past midnight my time, and I do have to take care of my dog because he's whining. So this will be our very first short video we done. When we come back, our next one we will go back into. We will go into, excuse me. We'll go into chapter 2, Men Headroom. So that's where we'll go next. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. And thank you all for joining me on this little short video. We'll continue we'll continue our story. So I look forward. So far, I am very caught. So far, it's good so far. Very good. But with that being said, you do take care of yourselves, my dear sweet flowers. And I will see you guys later. With that being said, goodbye.